Hi, and welcome to Conectados, a weekly space where we connect with resources, technology, ideas, neighbors, stories, and much more. I am your host, Cris Oviedo, and I am very, very happy to be with you today. Conectados is a space that looks to connect us to one another and bring us together. And today, we are connecting with Advent and our faith, the upcoming event of the weekend as well. We're going to have our weekly financial wellness segment and much more. And we start connecting with some of the national holidays that are happening between now and next Tuesday. And in case you didn't know, today is National Cookie Day. And to celebrate it, I want to share some fun facts about cookies. The word cookie comes from the Dutch word koekje, and I don't know that I'm saying that right, which means little cake. It is widely believed that the first cookies were baked in Persia around the 7th century, when sugar became more common in the region. The first cookies are believed to have been around the size of a quarter, and they have continued to change in sizes and shapes throughout the years. People in the United States purchase over 2 billion cookies per year, and the average American eats about 35,000 cookies throughout their life. The favorite cookie kind in the United States is the chocolate chip cookie, which was created in the late 1930s by Ruth Wakefield, who ran the Toll House restaurant in Massachusetts, and whom later sold the rights to use her recipe and the Toll House name to the little-known company by the name of Nestle. Another fun fact about cookies is that the best-selling cookie is the one you see on screen, Oreo, which was first produced in 1912 by the National Biscuit Company, Nabisco. Tomorrow is National Blue Jeans Day, one of the most iconic fashion items ever since they were first introduced in the 1800s, and which has adapted to every fashion style from long to baggy to short to tight to dark to light to faded to torn, and it continues to evolve with time and fashion. It is estimated that every American owns around 7 pairs of jeans. December 10th is Human Rights Day. I realized this had volume. Sorry about that. December 10th is Human Rights Day, a day that remembers the date in which the UN's General Assembly adopted and proclaimed the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948. This year's campaign is themed Our Rights, Our Future Right Now, which highlights that human rights play a critical role as a preventive, protective, and transformative force for good around the world. You can see some images of the actual Declaration of Human Rights. And I hope you choose to celebrate some of these holidays today. I know for sure that I'm going to get at least a cookie or two. Next, we have Jasmine from Making Change joining us with this week's financial wellness segment.
Hi, this is Jasmine Brewer back with you from Making Change, and today we're going to talk about tips to help you manage your money. The first thing is that you want to analyze your current budget. Are there any gaps in your budget? Are there any areas where you can reduce spending? But you want to analyze your budget so make sure that you have a clear understanding of where you are. The second thing is that you want to monitor your credit score. That's something that we don't always look at, but guess what? You can receive one free credit report annually, no cost to you, just for the report, not the scores, but for the report. And it's important that we're pulling our credit reports from websites that are going to provide us information for all three of the credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. So you can pull one free credit report from www.annualcreditreport.com. So pull a copy of your credit report because you want to review and see, is there anything on here that doesn't belong to me? Because that'll let you know if there are some things you need to follow up on. Third, you want to create some positive spending habits. What does that mean? So how many of us are having a rough day and we're like, oh, if I could just go do a little shopping, I might feel a little better. I know personally, I'm quick to get on Amazon or Temu and figure out, well, what is something that I might be able to buy for that momentary feeling of gratification. But there are other ways to create some positive spending habits. You can have a plan of what are some expenses or maybe gifts that you're going to be buying for friends or family later in the year. It doesn't have to be the holidays. It could be a birthday. It could be an anniversary. But guess what? You can track that out and start to plan for it now. And it feels almost as good as buying something at this very moment. The fourth step is you want to minimize your expenses. That can be pretty tough depending upon what your expenses are. But some opportunities to do that could be in areas of gas, for instance. Are there instances where you might not have to drive and that you could walk somewhere? Also, insurance. Car insurance and homeowners and renters insurance are things that I think that we just let renew every year. And we forget that we can shop around. Another thing that we don't often do is at our place of employment, where possible, asking for a raise. Typically, we go through annual reviews at our jobs every year. One of the things is that if you don't ask for it, you can guarantee you won't get it. But at least if you ask, then you know where you stand. You can start that conversation to be able to see if there's an opportunity for you to get a raise at your current place of employment, or even looking at other opportunities to see if you might be able to earn more. You can replace costly spending habits with inexpensive ones. So that really depends upon what your hobbies are. Some of the activities that I do for fitness, for example, are literally walking. It's the freest thing that I can think of to do, where I get fresh air, I get exercise, my dogs get exercise. But what am I paying for other than a good pair of walking shoes? Accountability. What does that look like? So I talked about in a previous video with your budget that you're going to decide when you're going to sit down to see if you are staying on track with your budget. Is that every week? Is that every other week? Is that once a month? But you're going to create that accountability space for yourself. And I will tell you, be gentle with you. Give yourself some grace. This takes a moment for some of us to really figure out, well, what works and what doesn't work. So be realistic with what you can manage and not manage. The last way in terms of managing your money is we suggest that some clients find a side hustle. What is a side hustle? That could be a business that you might already be doing, but you don't see it as a business because you see it as, oh, this is just something that I do on the side. I don't really have prices, but that's a business. Think about if you already have a side hustle or you have a side business that maybe you might have a goal of making it your primary business. You might say, this is what I want to do with my time. Think about what's going to work best for you so that you're able to stick with whatever plan that you have established for yourself. And if you need some help trying to figure it out, feel free to reach out to Making Change. We've got counselors that create an action plan for you and support and walk you through that step by step. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Jasmine, for sharing such great tips with us. It is now time to get real with Santiago Carrera and his real estate tip of the week.
Santiago Carrera, and here's your tip while you're selling your home. Paint. Neutral colors. So important. So the buyers can envision what they want to decorate their future home. So remember, paint. Very important. See you next week for another real estate tip while selling your home. And also, thank you, Chris, for letting us know that today is the National Cookie Day. Make sure you eat a cookie!
Realtor during the day, Cookie Monster at night. Thanks, Santiago Carrera, for bringing us the tip today. December is here, and with it, the holiday season has officially started. No matter where you look or what you do, there is a constant reminder that Christmas is coming. Christmas lights are starting to brighten the streets and the neighborhoods. Santa is starting to show up in different places, ready to say cheese and take those annual pictures. The stores and malls are not only adorned with decorations, but also with the biggest sales on offers of the year. We can catch our most favorite holiday movies on TV or on demand, and even our social media feeds are starting to show all kinds of holiday related posts. But there is more to Christmas than the movies, than the sales, and even the reunions. There's a bigger reason for the season, and we need to get ready for this big celebration. To talk about the proper way to prepare for Christmas, I am joined today by Deacon Manuel Aliaga, an experienced leader with a strong track record of directing and supporting service and pastoral initiatives on behalf of culturally diverse and Hispanic communities at the local and regional level. Manuel has experience in leadership development, training in intercultural competence, pastoral planning, facilitation, outreach, and communications. It is really an honor. It's to have somebody who can really help us get ready for the season with me. So, Manuel, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for all you do for our communities.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I love to serve. That's something that in the spirit of the holidays and in the spirit of starting our conversation, serving is an honor to me, and I feel that that's my calling, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I love to serve, so thank you for that. But it's not about me. It's really about learning, first of all, about you, and then really having you help us deepen, our faith. Maybe, I don't know if that's the right word, because I know that that's a lot of work, and that's a daily commitment, and that's a daily decision as well. But just to get prepared, just to maybe look at Christmas a little bit different. I think that we have for so long just been surrounded by the beauty, because it's beautiful. The cities are just gorgeous. You see Christmas trees, you see decorations, you see lights. In the winter, when the lights go away at 5 o'clock and it feels like midnight, Christmas lights come on and illuminate everything in their neighborhoods. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. But let's start with, just finding out who you are. Who is Manuel, and how did you get to the Archdiocese of Baltimore?
I'm originally Peruvian. I've lived in the United States for almost 30 years. I've always been involved in the church. First, at the parish level in Hispanic ministry for the most part, as a catechist of the RCIA, the Rite of Christian Initiation of Adults, which is basically preparation for adults who want to be received into the Catholic Church, that want to start learning about the faith, that want to initiate the process of becoming Christians in the Catholic Church. So I did that for many years at St. John the Evangelist in Colombia, but also in other parishes. And I also worked for the diocesan level for the bishop, so to speak. I worked for the Diocese of Charlotte in North Carolina for a few years. Then I worked for the Archdiocese of Washington, and now I work for the Archdiocese of Baltimore. As a result of all these experiences of service, of ministry at the parish level for many years, I discerned that God was calling me to the diaconate. The diaconate is one of the levels of the sacrament of holy orders. In the church, we have the 7 sacraments, the sacraments of initiation, baptism, confirmation, and First Communion, or the Eucharist. We have the sacraments of healing, which are the confession or penance or reconciliation, the anointing of the sick. And then we have sacraments of service, matrimony, and holy orders.
Hmm.
So Holy Orders has like 3 degrees, so to speak. The diaconate would be the first one, the priesthood would be the second one, and bishop would be the third one. So I was ordained to the diaconate a little over a year ago, and when I was a member of St. John the Evangelist in Colombia. And I was then assigned by the Archbishop of Baltimore to serve at St. Gabriel's Parish in Woodlawn.
You spoke of service, and you said marriage is one of those. I'm gonna have you back so we can have a whole conversation around that. Um, but you're a married man. You have a family. You have you've been in this country for 30 years. You just became a deacon a year ago, right? You said that you had that discernment, that you felt that calling. And I think that especially nowadays, and I think in the holidays as well, we have we hear about depression, we hear about feeling lonely, we feel about empty, especially when you are far away from your family, from your friends, if you're going through harsh times, if maybe you just lost your job, just so many things, right? The holiday season is a beautiful season and it should bring a lot of joy, but there is a lot of sadness that comes with it as well, for many different reasons. And you talked about service, and where I'm going with this question is, I feel that when we fall into depression, when we fall into the spirits of sadness, and there are things that make us sad, and there are things that worry us, it's not dismissing that, right? But I feel that faith, if we put our faith first, we can. It's not that we don't feel it, but we can carry it through it better. Tell us a little bit more about, after for all of the standards maybe of community, you were a successful man, you were having the life of your dreams, you were having the best life, but you decided to become a deacon about a year ago. Tell us more about that. Like, was there something missing? What moved you? How did you find that that's what you wanted to do, that that's what God was calling you to do?
That's a good question. Actually, I was admitted into the discernment process for the diaconate about 6 or 7 years ago. So it was a long process of formation and discernment. Um, my motivation, of course, was to be a better disciple of Jesus Christ. I've already been serving my community for a long time, but you want to serve them even better, right? Um, with a deeper kind of commitment. So you want to accompany people. You want to accompany them on their way to being better persons, better followers of Jesus, to be able to yield fruits in their lives as good Christians. So I was doing that for years as a lay person, um, serving, accompanying people, advising people. But now I have this opportunity to do it on a different level, to help people, to help communities, especially the Hispanic community with which I am more engaged, um, to build a home, to build a parish home, to build a church home. You say, Chris, that in this season, many people experience depression and loneliness. And that is true. That is true. Um, one thing that we can do is to help them discover in their faith the rock that helps them overcome those moments of depression, those moments of sadness, of feeling lonely, but also help our communities become homes for people that are experiencing loneliness. We should have strong communities, welcoming communities, in which people that are, for whatever reason, experiencing uh, issues in their lives, uh, feel received, feel welcome, feel supported, feel accompanied, and are given the food that they need, the spiritual food that they need, and also the human uh, food that they need for the journey. Um, so that's our task. Especially, we live at a time in which, for whatever reason, many people are isolated. We have broken families. We have people that moved away from their places of origin. We have migrants. We have people that are separated from their families for whatever reason. So it is true. Isolation, loneliness, depression are issues, especially in this season. So, how can we, Christians, in our community, be present to these people, offer them a moment of friendship, fraternity, uh, a place where they can be appreciated, where their gifts can be recognized, and that where they can put these gifts to the service of others. That's our role as church. That's our role in our parish.
Hmm. That's a beautiful role, just the word accompany. It feels so simple, and yet there's so much meaning to it, right? Because I am simply there for you. Um, that's it. Just being there for each other. There's so much power in that, so much love in that. So thank you for bringing that idea that we can just be there for one another. I love that. It's beautiful. What is the role of a deacon? Maybe people are wondering, like, wait a minute. So Manuel, you just said that he is a father, he has kids, but he is, so is he not a priest? What's a deacon? Like, so you can be a deacon when you're married? Like, I know that those are questions that some of our members in our parish have when they see people like you who are, I'm going to say, regular members of our parish serving at the altar, and sometimes even just presiding masses when our priest cannot be there. So help us understand what your role is, what your limitations are as well, and what it means for your family as well.
Well, a deacon, as I was saying earlier, a deacon is a member of the clergy. Uh, the sacrament of holy orders has three levels. The most basic one is the diaconate. Um, a deacon is a minister in the church, and he can preside on liturgies, not the mass. The mass is presided by the priest, and the priest can is the one that can consecrate the bread and the wine into becoming the body and blood of Jesus Christ. But the deacon has other functions. The deacon can serve at Mass, preach during Mass. Um, the deacon can administer some of the sacraments as ordinarily, as an ordinary minister of those sacraments. For example, baptism and marriage. A deacon can marry people as well. A deacon can conduct funerals. Um, and it's a helper. It's basically a helper of the bishop and of the local priest. The bishop is the pastor of the local church. In our case, the Archbishop of Baltimore, Archbishop William Lorry, who ordained me, he is our pastor, and he assigns priests and deacons to serve the local communities, the local parishes in different areas of the archdiocese. So I came from the Church of St. John the Evangelist in Colombia, and I was assigned to St. Gabriel. And my role there is to support the pastor uh, and the priest that is assigned to the Hispanic community and the other communities, but because I'm assigned to the whole parish, uh, to support their work, their pastoring or the shepherding role in the parish. I help with the liturgies. I do marriage preparation. I I baptize children. As a matter of fact, this coming Saturday we're having 25 children being baptized.
Wow.
It's gonna be a big celebration. And I also, as I was saying earlier, I do preparation for adults that what want to complete their Christian initiation. So, that's basically the role of the deacon. In many cases, deacons also are engaged in social ministry, outreach to the needy, those in need in the parish. There are different kinds of needs. Sometimes it can be material needs, it can be health needs, it can be spiritual needs, of course. So yeah, the deacon is a servant. The word deacon in Greek originally means servant. So it's an ordained servant for the local church.
That word service continues to come up in our conversation. What a beautiful, beautiful word to start this, first interview of December. Manuel, we are in a very diverse country. You're from Peru. I'm originally from Ecuador. Catholicism is the main religion that's practiced. I think it's even listed as the official religion for at least for Ecuador, if I remember correctly from elementary school days. um, but we're in the United States. We have a lot of different religions. We have a lot of different cultures. And, as we go into the holiday season, it has become a little controversial to say Merry Christmas because in the spirit of unity, in the spirit of inclusion, um, and we want to be inclusive and we want to honor the people around us, right? You talked about a company. We want to be able to accompany each other, to be there for each other. To me, that's what inclusion is. To me, what equity is, right? To be there for each other, understand what each other needs are, and provide accordingly. So, how do we honor our faith? How do we honor our traditions? I am Catholic. How do I live my Catholic faith in a country that's so diverse, and at the same time, I'm able to respect and I guess I'm going to use that word, accompany, right? Others, and how can others accompany me? Understanding that we may have different faiths, we may have different religions.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting question. I would start by saying that living out our faith shouldn't be seen as disrespectful to others. In other words, if I wear a cross, if I go to Mass, even if I say Merry Christmas to people, that shouldn't be disrespectful. Because we are just expressing our faith. It's like if somebody from a different faith in a different season wishes me well and greets me according to their faith, I should take it positively. It's coming from deep inside their faith, so I think we should get used to everybody expressing their faith and being comfortable with faith expression and welcoming it to the extent that it comes from a spiritual place. We are wishing well to each other. So I don't see why faith expression should be seen as disrespectful. The problem sometimes comes from the fact that faith expression can be weaponized. Uh, People can use it sometimes as a weapon, or even as a means for proselytism. But that's the fear some people have. But for the most part, I mean, uh, we have always had people of faith in this country and in other countries. Faith is part of the landscape. Not only that, faith is foundational. As you were saying, in Latin American countries, in Anglo American countries, Canada, the United States, in Europe, faith is foundational. In many other countries of the world, faith is foundational, and we should be foundational not only of cultures and civilizations and nations that recognized God, even in their constitutions, in their declarations of independence, in their legal systems, but based many of the values of their cultures and legal systems on religious values. So this is part of the landscape. This is part of our history. This is part of who we are, and we should come to terms with it. We shouldn't feel like uh, by being Christian, by being Catholic, we're offending people. And if somebody makes us feel like that, then we have a problem. Um, Now, of course, all of us are thrown, so to speak, into different scenarios, different situations, different environments, different communities. And we need to be wise and mm, think carefully how we're going to be expressing our faith in a particular place and time, without meaning that we have to hide our faith. I don't think we should be hiding our faith. We should be comfortable with it, living it out, not be made to be self-conscious about it.
I love what you just said. It goes back to that word accompany, right? Because I should be able to be my full self and present myself whole. Um, but at the same time, be cognizant and aware and mindful of those surrounding me so that my faith is not taken in the wrong way when I present it, but rather is accepted and is seen. Um, but like you very well said, it doesn't feel threatening, because I think that's what the problem is, that it feels that we're threatening each other and trying to bring each other into our own cultures and religions and faiths. And that's where the problem comes. And it's like, how about we just simply acknowledge that it's there, that we each have those individual choices that we have made, those cultures, those beliefs. And as long as it's not hurting anyone else, then I think that we have the freedom to be ourselves and profess the faith that we believe and that we've mostly I don't even know what the right word is, that we choose, because it's a choice that we choose to celebrate and profess and live by.
I
Um,
think that's exactly right. It shouldn't be threatening. It's who we are. It's many times it is what we have to offer. That's the best of us. The best of us comes into the fore because of our faith. Of course, we don't have to be preaching all the time. We don't have to be even speaking about our faith all the time. But every time we join other people to offer the best that we have, is because of our faith.
I love what you just said. It should be something that is recognized in our actions. We should not be using our words to show who we are. He's a father from Mexico. He's Latino. He does all of this teachings in Spanish, and he's always repeating, "Look at how they love each other. That's how they should recognize us on our faith. Look at how they love each other, how they serve, the words that you have been using today, how they serve each other, how they accompany each other, how they love each other. That's that our faith should be seen, recognized, not by our words, but by the actions that we're taking daily in every moment of our lives. So, with that thought in mind, we're exactly 3 weeks away from Christmas. Right? And, I mean, everybody's out shopping. If you go to the malls, you can't find parking. If you go to the stores, there's even longer hours. We just happened to had Black Friday and Cyber Monday and Small Business Saturday and all of these things, right? That seem to nowadays define what Christmas is. It's like the busiest shopping season of the year. Can you please remind us what Christmas really is all about? Because I know it is about a gift, but it's not those gifts that they're selling us out there.
Exactly. Well, Christmas is about the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ. And of course, that needs to be explained. Why do we need a Savior? What's the human condition? Um, Chesterton said that if there is something about the Christian faith that is very visible, that is obvious, and is out there for anybody to see, is the fact that we are sinners, that we are broken, that we have disordered tendencies towards selfishness, towards separating each other from our brothers and sisters, um, ambition, excessive ambition, self-centeredness, and so on. Many of these tendencies are visible, some are not, but we realize that there's something in us that needs redemption, that needs healing. And in Christmas, we celebrate the fact that our Lord Jesus Christ came to heal us, to bring us in communion with the Father, with God. The Advent season is a season in which we are preparing ourselves to go deeper into this mystery. God came to the world in Jesus Christ 2,000 years ago. But he's also coming to each of us anew every year during this celebration. So how do we prepare ourselves? How do we prepare our hearts? What kind of self-examination I need to do so that I can be prepared to receive him anew in Christmas, of course, but every Sunday in Mass, and of course every day, so that we can live the life that Christ calls us to, and be witnesses of his gospel to all.
So, Manuel, you're talking about preparing, you're talking about Advent, you're talking about preparation. What are certain things that you think that we could be doing, right? If maybe somebody is a person that goes every Sunday to Mass, right? But I go and I sit there and maybe start reading, around the book or the little flyer that they gave us with all of the upcoming events. I'm not really listening. I'm worried about everything else that's happening. So I'm not actively participating per se. Maybe I'm somebody who hasn't been to church in a very long time. Maybe I'm somebody who only goes for the big celebrations, right? So I know that I'm going to have to go to church December 24th or 25th so that I can celebrate Christmas. And then, that's my fourth time of the year maybe that I go to church. How do we prepare? How do we get ready for Christmas? Maybe I am somebody who's there every single day and I'm really trying my best, and somebody who's committed. How can we all prepare to have the best Christmas ever?
The first thing to prepare would be, in my view, to pay attention to the celebrations. If I'm there, if I'm coming to Mass, if I'm coming to either the Advent celebrations or the Christmas Mass. Be there, um, fully participating in the celebration. Um, Pay attention. Come with a prayerful attitude. Listen to the readings. Listen to the homily, to the preaching. Pay attention to the words at Mass. Mm, be open to meeting the people, to greet the people. See how the parish community is uh, offering you an opportunity to celebrate. Appreciate the fact that we have a church. Appreciate the fact that we have a Mass, a community where you can go and sit down, pray, listen, participate, enjoy the food that you're being served. Um, that would be my first advice. Appreciate what you are being served. Um, Once you leave the church, bring with you the message, chew on it, meditate about it, see how this message calls you to something better. See how this message, the message that you've heard, the message that you've seen, because in Mass we not only hear, but we also see the people, the ministers, the community. See how everything that you've seen calls you to a deeper relationship with Jesus Christ, to a deeper life of prayer, to a deeper life of service to others. And uh, once you appreciate this, once you chew on this, once you meditate about this, you the next thing would be to decide what are you going to do about it. How can we together grow uh, as a flower that grows? We are all called to flourish, to a life of flourishing, and we help each other to flourish. That's what being in a community means. Um, we want to turn our communities into places where people flourish in their faith, in their family life, in their work life, in everything. We want people to be all that God calls them to be. So, how can Christmas help you grow this seed, the seed of Christ in your heart, so that you become a full human being?
What are you going to do? That's a big question. What are you going to do? So for those looking to maybe deepen, their faith, who have been away from church, or maybe are active participants, but one more, are there resources, local resources that they can tap into?
First, their local parish. Look for a community near you that offers you the opportunity to celebrate Advent and Christmas and Mass every Sunday. The most important celebration really is Sunday Mass. But of course, during Advent and the Christmas season, we are in a especially celebratory mode. So look for a local community, a local parish where you can go to Mass and participate in the other activities of the Advent season. Many parishes offer, for example, penance services before Christmas during the Advent season. What is a penance service? A penance service is a moment in which the community gathers and together they do an examination of conscience. Okay, what have I been failing on? What have in which areas of my life I need healing, restoration, forgiveness. How have I been perhaps not been living up to what God calls me to live? Uh, a penance service is a moment of self-examination, after which we go to a priest for confession. And so we basically confess before the priest our shortcomings, and the priest gives us absolution, forgiveness in the name of Jesus, and then we resolve to do better, and try to be better persons, especially focusing on those little or not so little things that need our attention, our shortcomings that need our attention. The parishes offer these penance services. Sometimes you may have a parish that is near you, or not so near to you. You need to find um, where the parishes are. The Archdiocese of Baltimore uh, has on its website um, a parish locator with mass times. You can Google Catholic churches near me, and you will find churches that are near you, and a link to their website where you can find also mass times, confession times, and other information about Christmas, Advent, and Christmas celebrations. So that would be a big resource.
So I just dropped a link on the comments for the Archdiocese of Baltimore. It's a good place to start. You can go and search and Google. Just I know I do when I can't make my regular masses because I'm out and about. I look for it's mass near me, and there's a website that I can't remember right now, but you just put the zip code or you use your location, and it gives you all the churches close by, and it tells you what time the upcoming mass is at for that day. So there's a lot of resources. Manuel, to close our conversation, what message would you like people to take with them today?
Um, I think the church, in her wisdom, offers us an opportunity during Advent to get closer to Jesus through his church, his local church, which is the parish. It is a blessing for us to be able to get together. It is a blessing for us to be able to come to a local church community and find people there that have been working to receive you, that have been working to, so to speak, set up a table for you. It is a blessing to have that. In many parts of the world, it's a lot more difficult to be able to attend Mass, to be able to go to church. In this area, we have it relatively easy. There are fellow Christians around us in our local parishes, in our local Catholic churches that are setting up the table for us, that are preparing a seat for us so that we can come, be welcome, be received, and enjoy the different celebrations that we have during Advent and Christmas. I mentioned earlier the penance services, but it is very common also to have around our parishes Christmas concerts with beautiful music, beautiful Christmas music, classical Christmas songs and hymns and works that are that bring joy to the season. So that's also an opportunity for us to participate in our local communities. So be thankful for the fact that we have these parishes nearby, and take the opportunity, take the invitation to approach these churches and participate in their Advent and Christmas celebrations.
What I'm hearing is just choose what works for you. You've given us such great ideas today, Manuel, on how to, just go back to Jesus, just go back and reconnect with our faith. You talked about participating, you talked about being in community, you talked about accompanying each other. You know, take a simple step, whatever feels good to you, whatever feels non-threatening to you, because I know that when you're far away, um, sometimes it's difficult and sometimes you may feel like you're going to be judged, but find a church that may be open and just go and sit there. Just go and sit there, just in reflection, just, with an open heart and an open mind, to let God speak to you. Listening, I think, is the hardest thing. Obedience, take action, like you said earlier. I think that's also one of the hardest things that comes with faith, but it's really, really important. We do have a message here from Belen. She says, "Thank you, Chris and Manuel, for sharing this message of faith and for helping us to be prepared this Advent season. Feliz Navidad." Thank you, Belen, for watching, and thank you, everybody else, for watching. Manuel, is there anything else before we close our conversation out today?
Yes, you said that sometimes people are afraid of feeling judged. I think we're all on the same boat. Um, eh, and we shouldn't be thinking about that. We are really working to, again, set up the table for you. We will be happy to have you in our church, um, to join in our celebrations. That we are all sharing in the same celebration. We are all on the same boat, and we just are there to accompany each other, support each other in the journey.
And God never judges us. I mean, Jesus gave us so many examples of people who were, sinners, who were found committing very, very bad things. And he was the first one to say, if you're free of sin, throw that first rock. If you're not able to, then just move on, do something better, just change your ways. I don't judge you. I don't blame you. You're forgiven. So that's the message that I want everybody to take away. Let's accompany each other. Let's live a life of service, and let's be the better version of ourselves that we can be, so that when people look at us from far away, we don't need to tell them what religion, we don't need to tell them that we're people of faith. They can see it in the way that we practice love towards each other. Manuel, thank you so much for this conversation. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris. And again, thank you for all you do.
Thank you. So we are going to take a little break, and we will be right back with more of Conectados. And the forecast for today, it's been cold, and it's going to continue to be cold, I think, for the next couple of days. 42, cloudy, and then maybe some rain this afternoon, and winds are going to be picking up. So bundle up if you're going to be outside. I always bring my quote of faith. Faith in action is love, and love in action is service. By transforming the faith into living acts of love, we put ourselves in contact with God himself, with Jesus, our Lord. And we are back. We're a weekly space of Conectados, where we connect with resources, technology, ideas, neighbors, and much more. And now we are going to connect with the events that are happening around Howard County this coming weekend. And we have a lot of things coming up. First, CAF, the Centro de Apoyo Familiar, will be giving away fruits and vegetables this Friday, December 6th from 12 to 3. Everything is free, and for details, you can visit the Eventbrite link that I am about to throw on the comments for you. So there's a lot of links coming up for you where you can look for information on the upcoming events. Get started on your holiday shopping with homemade items from more than 40 local artisans and vendors this Friday at the Holiday Craft Show, taking place at the Ellicott City 50 Plus Center from 9:30 until 3 p.m. There will be holiday crafts, knitted items, jewelry, gems, jellies, candied nuts, sea glass art, ornaments, cards, painted rugs, stained glass, holiday gifts, and much, much more. Admission is $1, which will be donated to Small Miracles Cat and Dog Rescue. For more information, contact the Ellicott City 50 Plus Center at 410-313-1400. I will put that number in the comments for you as well. Festive Fridays are back at the downtown Columbia lakefront this week. Everyone is invited to come and enjoy holiday crafts and activities, watch ice sculptures, delight with live music, cozy up with fire pits, and much more. This is a free community event that starts at 5:30 p.m. and ends at 8 p.m. Bundle up, come make memories with your family and friends. For more details, go to columbiaassociation.org, calendar of events, and I'm about to put that link on the comments for you. So there you go. So you can get all the details. This is happening this week and the next couple of weeks as well. Midnight Madness is also happening this Friday at Old Ellicott City. Come and experience the holiday magic with sidewalk sales, festive cocktails, delicious food offerings, and more. The fun starts at 5:30 p.m. If you are in need of food, Columbia Community Care food distribution sites are open Saturdays from 10 a.m. until noon. Please take a screenshot of the 3 locations on the screen and choose the one that's closest to you. No registration is required, no income verification, no applications, no questions asked. If you need food, simply stop by. If you would like to contribute or you would like to donate, I'm dropping the link, columbiacommunitycare.org. You can find information how to get help or how to help. This Saturday, December 7th, come to the Gary Arthur Community Center for the Holiday Mart, a unique shopping experience where you can explore seasonal gifts crafted and created by more than 120 artisans and crafters. The event is from 9 to 3:30 p.m. Tickets are $4 per person if purchased in advance or $5 at the door. There will be food available for sale and children's craft corner, canvas painting sessions, and much more. I am putting the link where you can get all the details on the comments for you. Come and enjoy a Colombian tradition this Saturday at the Elkridge Branch Library, making a craft related in honor of the Little Candles Day, a celebration that happens annually on December 7th in the country of Colombia. And stay afterwards to watch the movie Encanto. This event starts at 2 p.m. All the details again on the comments on the social media pages, so you can go register and plan for the day. This Saturday, be part of the Bowman Bridge Lighting in Savage Mill. Come in person and watch the magic happen live at 6 p.m. There are multiple train holiday displays around the county that you can enjoy with the family for free, totally free, including the one at the Gary J. Arthur Community Center, the display at the B&O Ellicott City Station Museum, and the one located at the Ellicott City Volunteer Fire Department. For hours of operation, for details, and everything else, I am dropping the 3 links for you on the comments. So check them out. They are very, very, very pretty. And it takes a lot of work, and there's volunteers usually who put them up for you. Symphony of Light continues this weekend at Merriweather. For details, for tickets, go to merriweatherlights.com. Check out the website for specific dates. I know that there's a couple of events that are coming up. Different, usually you just drive by, but there's times where you can either walk by or where you can bring your pet. There's just different events like that happening. So take a look at the calendar at merriweatherlights.com and plan your visit. And those are all the events that are happening. There's a lot more, but those are all the events that I wanted to make sure that I mentioned today. And if you have events, if you know of events and you want to make sure that people know about it, if you feel that they're not given the attention and the love and the support that they should be, please send them my way, info@crisoviedo.com. That's info@crisoviedo.com. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for connecting with me. I will be back on Friday. We'll have this same conversation in Spanish. If you speak Spanish, if you know people who speak Spanish, if you want to connect with us again, please come back Friday at 9 a.m. Have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Stay warm. I will be helping supporting Columbia Community Care tonight at the Bum Bum Holiday. It's not too late to purchase your tickets. There are very few left though, so visit Eventbrite and just research Columbia Community Care Bum Bum Holiday Party. Help us help us fundraise for Columbia Community Care and support this wonderful organization. Have a wonderful day, and until next time, I am Cris Oviedo. Thank you so much. See you next time.